Alright, hey guys, today's video is not necessarily topic around back to school, but you know, for back to school you do want to be kind of looking your best. So if you just feel like your hair is not growing, here are some really helpful tips. They apply for everyone, like no matter what your hair texture or hair type. You know, if you have really kinky curls, if you have more wavy hair, it still applies to you. And also, I didn't say some of the more obvious things, such as like drink water, trim your hair, moisturize your hair. Like, I don't know, I feel like it's a million videos that tell you that. So this video does not state any of those like really obvious things. First, make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to my channel. I post pretty much every other day. So yeah, make sure you subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications so you never miss when I post it. So now the first tip is that you are not deep conditioning for long enough. Most deep conditioners on the bottle will say like deep condition for, or like to leave you on for 15 minutes. Some of them even say like as little as 1 to 2 minutes. So yeah, for me personally, I deep condition for at least an hour. I know a lot of people say there is a such thing as having too much moisture and over conditioning. I've never experienced anything with that. For me, I deep condition for at least an hour, and when I rinse it out, my hair feels nice. Especially because I shampoo my hair every week, and I do use a deep moisturizing shampoo, but it is not a sulfate free shampoo. However, I never worry about if the shampoo dries out my hair or not, because I always know that my deep conditioner is gonna put all that moisture back into my hair plus some. So I never stress out about shampoo drying out my hair. Since we're on the topic of deep conditioners, my second tip is to experiment with deep conditioners. You want to be using masks, sometimes deep treatments, sometimes protein treatments, strengthening treatments, moisturizing treatments. However, every mask, every deep treatment, everything that claims itself as a deep conditioner should be moisturizing your hair. If it did not moisturize your hair, then you do not want to use that product. For me personally, I use deep conditioners that they say on the bottle that they are made for moisture, because like I said, sometimes my shampoo does dry my hair out. So moisture in my deep conditioner is really important, and that's all around the whole goal of deep conditioner, is to be moisturizing your hair. So if your deep conditioner is not moisturizing, then you need to get rid of that like yesterday, and yeah, get a deep conditioner that is moisturizing to your hair. My next thing is that you pretty much want to be wearing a scarf. I just mean you don't want your hair to be rubbing against cotton. So most couches, beds, chairs, you know, pillows are mostly made out of cotton, which breaks your hair and dries your hair out. So when your hair is dry, that's obviously when it breaks. And yeah, friction also breaks your hair off, which your hair experiences when it rubs against cotton. So you want to have your hair wrapped up if there is a chance that it could be rubbing against cotton. So if you're laying down, you definitely want to have your hair covered up. Most of the time, if you're sitting on a couch and you're like leaning back and the back of your hair might be on the couch, then yeah, you still want to make sure that you have on like a silk or satin to cover your hair, because silk or satin is the only thing that's going to protect your hair from cotton. You want to take every piece of advice, like no matter who you hear it from, including my advice that I'm saying, you want to take it with a grain of salt. Because like, just because I deep condition my hair for an hour, maybe all you do is co-wash, so you don't really need to deep condition your hair for an hour. You know, maybe your hair will get too mushy if you deep condition for an hour. So yeah, you want to take everybody's advice with a grain of salt. And if you know you never shampoo your hair and your hair has been growing like an inch every month, then you're good. You don't really need to shampoo your hair, you know. So if you do something and your hair is fine with you doing that, then don't stop doing that just because somebody on YouTube said to do it. The next tip that I wrote is that you're not using enough moisturizing products, such as deep conditioners, moisturizers, hair lotion. Yeah, hair lotions, or it could be leave-in conditioners, hair milks, whatever you're using that's supposed to be moisturizing your hair. So whatever conditioner you use, whatever deep conditioner you use, whatever leave-in conditioner, and then also your like styling product, your curling cream or pudding or whatever. If those products are not moisturizing your hair, then you need to get new products, because the products that you put into your hair, especially if you don't do your hair every day, which you shouldn't be doing your hair every day, but if you're doing your hair every day, you want to make sure that the products, if you're not doing your hair every day, you want to make sure that those products are going to let your hair have enough moisture where it's not dry within the next 24 hours, you know, because everybody doesn't have time to do their hair every day. And you know, some people just don't want to do their hair every day. That's kind of a lot, you know, to do. So you want to make sure that those products, you're using enough of them, and you want to make sure you're using products that do moisturize your hair. If your hair is dry within the next 24 hours, you probably need to buy some new products. Also, one of my tips, for me personally, I always use products that advertise moisture. Like some of the products that I use say intense moisture on the bottle, because moisture is just so important to me and for my hair. And my hair really absorbs moisture fast, so I tend to use a lot of product when I do my hair, and I tend to only use products that advertise moisture. You want to be detangling gently and take your time. I wash my hair on a day where I know I have a full, like, there's no time limit. I can take as much time as I need to. So even if that means you can't wash your hair once a week, if you can only wash your hair every 2 weeks, that's fine. Every 3 weeks, kind of pushing it, but that's still fine. Yeah, because you want to make sure that you're going to have enough time to take your time so that you're not rushing. Because when you do detangle your hair, no matter what tool you use, you want to be doing it slowly and taking your time. It doesn't matter if you do it from root to ends or from ends to roots. It doesn't matter if you use your fingers or if you use a wide tooth comb. It does matter if you're using a small tooth comb, because that, and at the end of the day, that's going to pull out more of your hair than your fingers or a wide tooth comb would do. For me, I finger detangle, but I don't finger detangle until the part where I put in my leave-in conditioner, because that's just what works best for me. But I'm not saying to change, like, whatever your regimen is. Just make sure when you are detangling, no matter how you do it, no matter what you use, make sure that you're taking your time and you're doing it gently. And if it's a knot, if you're like using a comb and you're like pulling like that, then you might want to try like take your fingers and just separate that section in half. And yeah, like detangle that section in half instead of trying to detangle that whole section and risking pulling out more of your hair than what your hair naturally has already shed. So the next thing I wrote is to be aware. And by this I mean, how much does your hair shed? Pay attention to that every week. Pay attention if 1 week your hair sheds less or 1 week your hair sheds more. Maybe you need to watch what products you are using or what you did on that particular week, you know, that would have made your hair shed more. Is your hair breaking? In case you guys didn't know, breaking is when your ends are coming off. Shedding is like if the whole length of your hair comes out, and shedding is natural, breaking is not natural. So if you're breaking your hair, that's a huge reason why you're not seeing your hair grow, because if it could be breaking just as fast as it's growing or breaking faster than it's growing, because your hair will most likely only grow no more than an inch per month. And so if you're getting breaking off like 1.5 inches every time you wash your hair, or even 1 inch every time you wash your hair, and you're washing your hair once a week, then it looks like your hair is getting shorter even though it's still growing because the ends are just coming off. You need to know, is your hair dry? You need to know how often your hair needs to be moisturized. If your hair is dry every 2 days, if your hair is dry every 2 days, then you need to be moisturizing your hair every 2 days, or searching for a product that keeps your hair moisturized for more than just 2 days if you don't have time to moisturize your hair every 2 days. But if you really like your products and you have the time to moisturize your hair every 2 days, you should be moisturizing your hair every 2 days. You need to know how often your hair has to be washed. If it's to the point where you're scratching your scalp and then like you have little residue in your nails, then it's most likely time for you to wash your hair because your scalp is dirty. Your hair is still gonna grow if your scalp is dirty, but I mean, one, why would you want your scalp to have like dirt and stuff on it? And then for two, it just grows slower because your natural oils can't really get to your hair if you have dirt on your scalp, because your natural oils are coming from your scalp. Is your hair weak or does it break easily? Most of the time, if you have thin hair or really fine strands of hair, then your hair will break more easily, so you need to be detangling even more gently than what you already detangle at. Also, even if you do have thick hair, but you just notice like every time you like pull it down to do a length check, you're pulling out a strand of hair, you need to notice those things so that you know how gentle you need to be with your hair. Does your hair get tangled easily? Do you just do like that and shake your hair out and every tangle is back into your hair? All these things matter, because when you're looking for a product, you might want to get a product that says for dry hair, for tangled hair, for damaged hair, for color treated hair if you have colors, if your hair is color treated. But honestly, you don't need to be putting color in your hair. But you can still have healthy hair even if you do dye it. Like, dyeing your hair is just not gonna make all your hair fall off or anything like that. You just need to make sure that you're protecting it and taking care of it. How much does your hair need to be trimmed too? You only need to trim when you see that your hair has split ends. Like, you don't need to be trimming every 6 months or whatever, because I know everybody's always like trim every 6 months, but I only trim when I see that I have split ends. So whenever I see I have split ends, that's when I trim, because you don't want to be trimming your hair more, or I mean faster than your hair is growing. Like, you don't want to, your hair grows an inch every month and you trim an inch off every month. Your hair is going to be the same length forever. The next thing that I wrote is, don't be scared of shampoo and use it as often as you need it. I don't co-wash because I had never heard of that before. I started watching YouTube videos and I just don't feel like I need to. So whenever I wash my hair, I shampoo my hair. Like I said, if co-washing works for you, or if anything that I'm saying don't do, if it works for you, still do that. But shampoo is the only thing that's going to get all that dirt that I was talking about earlier. Shampoo is the only thing, unless you use like ACV or something. Shampoo is the only thing that's going to get that dirt off of your scalp. So if you want your hair to be growing at the fastest rate possible, your scalp needs to be clean. So you need to make sure that you're shampooing or doing some other type of method where you're shampooing your hair more than once, at least twice a month, more than once a month, because you can't shampoo your hair once a month. And if you, I'm saying you can't shampoo your hair only once a month if you get like dirt and stuff on it within 2 or 3 weeks, you know, because then you're gonna go 2 or 3 more weeks with your hair just being dirty. So you know how people do the LOC method or the LCO method? If you do that and you use water instead of your leave-in, instead of a leave-in conditioner, you use water, you need to be sealing that water in with oil, even if you don't do the lock method or the LCO method, because water, if you just put water in your hair is gonna dry, and then when it dries, it's gonna be like dry and tangled up and stuff. But the oil will help the moisture to last longer, so that you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to use the LCO or the LOC, or the LOC method. You don't have to use one of those methods. If you, all you have to do is put a curling cream on your hair and then you can be good. Or all you have to do is put leave-in conditioner in your hair, you can be good. You need to do what's working for you. If you have maybe thinner or finer hair and you notice that every time you put oil in your hair it just looks like it's weighed down and lifeless, that is because you're using too much oil. And at the end of the day, you need to just do what's best for your hair. So if that's not the LOC or the LCO method, then don't use one of those methods. You can make up your own method. You don't have to do something that is popular on YouTube. You have to do what works for your hair to grow at its fastest rate. You don't want to be length checking no more than once every 2 months, because like I said, your hair will most likely grow no more than an inch a month. So if you're length checking your hair every week and you see like like a milliliter of a difference, then you probably won't even notice it, and you're probably just gonna think that your hair is not growing. So definitely take pictures, and definitely limit your length checks to at least twice a month so that you can see the actual growth that you're getting. Use water-based products, because water is a moisturizer to your hair, and when you use water-based products, you most of the time don't have to seal in the moisture. However, if you do seal in the moisture, it'll last longer. So if you don't seal in the moisture and your hair lasts for 4 days without getting dry, if you seal in the moisture, your hair might last for 5 or 6 days before it's dry. I already talked about how you need to use products that advertise moisture, because if your hair is moisturized, it's not going to fall out and it's going to grow. However, all of your hair needs to be moisturized in order for this to work. All of your hair needs to be moisturized at all times, and you won't have a problem with your growth at all. And the last thing that I am going to say before I leave this video is health equals length. So just how I said, if your hair is moisturized, it's gonna grow. If you're transitioning and your hair is maybe armpit length, maybe you want to transition for no more than 6 months before you cut your hair to to like shoulder length, because I feel like shoulder length should be a comfort spot. Like your hair isn't short, it's not the longest, but it's not short. So yeah, when you're transitioning, you need to be cutting your hair off in like inches, literally, because that's the best way for your hair to grow and for your hair to thrive. And like I said, if you don't want to be trimming your ends whenever your hair needs to be trimmed, trim more for your hair to be so that it doesn't have like your hair shoulder length and then you have this one strand that's like almost waist length. You know, you want to trim for those reasons, and for you notice that you have split ends. If you notice that when you like pull your hair out and like it's really thin at the end, like something that you can see through it, you need to clip that off. And that is health. If your hair is stringy at the end or thin at the ends to the point where they can see through it, then that means your hair is not healthy. If your hair is dry, your hair is not healthy. If your hair is like matted to the point where like it's a little ball like in the middle of your head, your hair is not healthy. So know the signs of your hair not being healthy and fix them. Also, tangled hair does not mean unhealthy hair. Your hair is going to tangle if it's curly, and that's fine. That's why you need to be detangling it gently, because if you're not detangling every day, then obviously you're getting more tangles, but you don't want to be detangling every day. Okay guys, so that is it for this video. That is all I have to say, and I guarantee you, if I said one of these things that you are not doing and like maybe you never even had any idea about, I guarantee you it's going to help you with your hair journey. So thanks everybody for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up and stay tuned for back to school videos coming very soon.